So when you have done these collaborations, like with these corporations and United Nations and all that, um, what was your next step for you? Like, I think you went to India and you started collaborating with the governments and all. And I think you started your journey with Andhra Pradesh, which did not get separated at that time. And how was your journey, like with both Andhra Pradesh or after the separation with the Telangana government, and how did you start with them, and what kind of support did you receive from the government?
So, uh, Mr. Chandrababu Naidu was a big advocate for technology for the masses, and he believed in the vision of sustainable villages. So, I got appointed as a fellow of UC Berkeley, and with partnership with UC Berkeley, we started a village program. So my second partner was UC Berkeley. I used to work with UC Berkeley earlier, and this time when I was leaving Intel, the Berkeley partnership continued because I had made some very good friends. So a lot of work that I was doing with Mr. Chandrababu Naidu was courtesy UC Berkeley. The Garwood Center for Corporate Innovation became a big partner. Earlier, before that, I became a senior fellow at the Haas School of Business at the Leicester Center for Entrepreneurship and Innovation. So Berkeley became a big part of my credentials. And believe me, after you leave in a big job and a big designation, you need a good credential. So God was kind. I got a senior fellow designation of UC Berkeley. And UC Berkeley thought that the work that I was doing was worthy of education material that should be taught to senior leaders at the Haas School of Business, because a lot of executive education happens there, and a big part of executive education is how to innovate for emerging markets. So a lot of my work became content for corporate innovation programs. Of course, we got a great start. The Chandrababu Naidu government funded us in this project that we established, but then elections came, and of course things didn't work out well, and after that we were thrown out. so so it didn't it didn't go. We couldn't sustain the impact that we wanted to create. And that made me also realize, in fact, that was a very low point in my entrepreneurial career. It was hard time. I had to let go of my staff because I could not afford their salary because a lot of it was funded. So for 6 months, 7 months, there was no money coming in, so I had to let people go. But this taught me an important lesson that sustainable financing is important. So I thought that let me go back to where my strengths are and where the predictability is, and that is in the corporations. Because I had a good network. I thought of leveraging my network, and I won't say very soon, but I got funded by IBM. So IBM sponsored the AI skilling program, and we established a skills accelerator in the villages of Andhra Pradesh. So one of the things that I'm very sensitive about is, and this is something I learned in my early 30s. I was doing a trip in Uttarakhand, where my mother is from. She came from the villages, and my maternal grandfather was a farmer. So whenever I used to go there, one of the things that I always used to see in people's eyes was they used to think I am not going to be there for a long time. Because that's the way we have treated the villages. It has become a volunteering, feel-good factor for many of us. So people go there, take pictures, of course they feel good, and then nothing happens. So one of the person who actually asked me a very blunt question in Hindi was, "Sir, aap chale to nahi jaoge," which means I hope you don't go away. And I said, "No, we're not going to go away." But the question was in Uttarakhand, but I remember that person saying that to me, and I said, though we were kind of thrown out from Andhra Pradesh, we said we're not going to go. We continued our work at low money. We didn't lose the trust of people. We moved from East Godavari region to West Godavari region because we got some support from colleges and some other support from corporation. And we then resumed work after a gap of 6 months, funded by IBM. We landed up starting up a skills accelerator, which was making adult learners career ready and giving them jobs. And jobs not in the cities, but jobs in the nearby areas, so that at least they can come back for during the weekend to meet their families. So at least in the radius of about 50-60 kilometers is what we thought. And we landed up setting that up. So that was the next big moment that happened. Our program from a startup accelerator became a skills program, more focused on jobs and helping young people in villages find jobs in closer to their village, not just going after the rat race that everybody needs to migrate aimlessly to the cities. But that person who asked me, "Aap chale to nahi jaoge," taught me such a big lesson that we thought that trust is the most important thing for people in the villages. If they trust you, you'll do that. So the village that we were working with Chandrababu Naidu, we landed up talking and working with them for the next 9 years, irrespective of the government, because we continued our work. Yeah. And now, in fact, the state government of Telangana has come forward, and now we are establishing a Green Skills Academy in the state of Telangana, because green and the green workforce, climate talent is a big narrative that we are driving, that India will be producing a global talent workforce for not just India, but for the rest of the world. As the world transitions to net zero, there are millions of jobs that are going to come, and there is no workforce. And we believe India could be leading in that. India has two big advantages. One is the demographic dividend, which is young people. So there are various studies, but 26% of India is below the age of 14 years. Imagine that those in the next 10 years they're going to be in the workforce. There are studies that shows that globally we will be having about 28% of the global workforce population, and that will be coming from India. We are a young country. There are US and Europe and a lot of countries in Europe which are aging, whereas India is a young country. So what we are doing is leveraging this demographic dividend of India, marrying that with technology, because India is very good in technology. We have a temperament of using technology and getting skilled in technology very fast. So we are using generative AI, we are using AI for climate action. And we are looking at how AI and the Indian workforce can contribute to the net zero agenda. And the government of Telangana is partnering with us in this. This is the latest partnership that has just happened. So we are still not there with Mr. Chandrababu Naidu, though he's back in power, and so happy for that. Hopefully we will get into a partnership. We've started discussing with him what the new partnership will look like, especially on green skilling. But last year, the state government of Telangana and 1M1B established the first green skilling academy in the state. So we'll be setting up a climate center, most probably in T-Hub. We also have a partnership with the Telangana Academy of Skills and Knowledge, TASK, and Ministry of IT, Ministry of Education. So we are doing a lot of work in Telangana state. A lot of my team is from Hyderabad, so that makes them more passionate about it. We are very passionate people to make a change, and they are all Telugu speaking. So I'm leveraging their passion and their Telugu speaking ability to work in that state to create an impact.